Uh, on behalf of my Retired Life Foundation, we extend you a hearty welcome to a interesting and relevant topic on a very, very relevant day, and that is International Day of Mental Health. The if you look at the whole concept of mental health, in my personal opinion, it's age neutral because at every age, human beings go through the phenomenon of mental issues or mental problem, not goes through, but could go through the issues of the mental health or mental problems. And there are various reasons for that. At younger age, the reasons could be different. At our age, the reasons could be different. But we as a senior citizen possibly are more prone to the mental health. Because the entire discussion of the mental health sometimes roams about the elderly people and the mental health issue. That there are various reasons for that. One, of course, is age-related mental problem. The second, the psychological aspect, and so on and so forth. Therefore, we thought that on this particular day, well, let's keep a talk on this particular interesting topic. Krishnamani madam suggested it, and I jumped on that idea. Told her you can get an external good person, and we will definitely have the session. And therefore, we have the session today by a very interesting topic, by a very interesting and relevant person, Sonali Sikdar. And we are thankful to her, madam, for being with us today to talk on this particular topic. And I request Krishnamani madam to please introduce Sonali and take it forward.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Sonali, apart from being a good friend of mine, is a practicing psychologist and psychotherapist. She has been working with adolescents and adults to deal with anxiety, depression. Her practice includes cognitive behavior therapy, rational emotive behavior therapy, transactional analysis, access consciousness, lifestyle prescriptions, health coaching, and more. She is a professionally qualified counselor, psychotherapist, and has attended many training in the field in India and abroad. Apart from being a member of many counseling forums, she is a part of the suicide prevention group, Snehangan, helping to spread awareness on depression and suicide in educational institution and corporates. Like Sir said, mental illness is not restricted to only seniors. It is actually age neutral, right, and gender neutral. Like if I can say I am being little under weather today, I have no inhibition. I just openly come and say I have fever. But the same thing doesn't happen when we have mental illness. We hesitate to share what is happening and talk to anybody, also leave alone a counselor. So today Sonali will take us through what is our journey has to be in mental health. And if you all remember, some of you have attended her session at Nehru Layappa temple once she had come with Anuradha Kauri. So we had an interesting session that time also. We hope to have same impression today also. Sonali, over to you. Thank you so much for accepting in a short notice.
Thank you so much, Veena ji. And I will try to make full justice. But today's topic being very dry, whereas that day's topic was so interesting, grandparenting. So I will try my level best. Plus, we are on Zoom, so let's see what magic we can create. Yeah. So I am shortly going to start my screen sharing. But just before that, I wanted to, in fact, tell you that you know the age group that Veena ji was talking about that I deal with. So whenever people ask me that, so who all do you deal with and what all do you deal with? So I said array of things that I deal with, and I deal with children from age 10 to 75. So people kind of get very surprised when I say 75 and and children. I said yes, because by the time we start getting into that age, we actually start wanting to live uh, very differently, and I'm sure each one of you must be experiencing that in very small ways. But again, there is something called as a age appropriate and socially appropriate behavior that is expected out of us. Hence, we do not really enjoy an ice cream, very openly and things like that. But I always encourage all my patients, be at whatever age you are, it is always good to live in the moment and live with joy, whatever, whenever, wherever you're living and whoever you're living with, even if it is with your own self. Yeah. So with that, I'm just going to start my screen share. But my first question over here to everybody is that what is your expectations from this 1 hour small chat that we are going to have? And of course, I hope to remain connected with most of you. Veena ji, I already know. Geeta auntie, I already know. So, and yeah, so what is your expectations from today? What do you hope that we will try to cover today, or what is the thing that we will really do over here today?
More excitement to the current mental situation through which we are going through. We are already having, some of us at least, a very good mental status, but we want this to be further excited actually, so that
Right.
we look forward to more interesting things.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Who else?
just like physical health is important, and mental health is more important than,
Correct.
because if we are not healthy mentally, even physically we are healthy, it's of no use. So
Right.
mentally we have to be healthy enough, and we should be able to memorize these things. We should be able to maintain our mental health, what we were having all through, particularly in this advanced stage.
Wonderful. So, which effectively means we are looking at something which is an overall well-being, a holistic well-being for ourselves that includes our mental and physical.
Sonali, I want to say one thing.
Sure.
Sometimes same situations I have observed.
Mhm.
People are unhappy, but they have everything. Their happiness, family is good, children are good, well settled and all. Everything is there. Pension is good. Everything is good, but still they are under depression.
Correct.
So this is a very strange situation I have observed in a few cases.
Right.
That's what I want to say.
Wonderful.
Madam, I would like to know just how to manage anger management, or when there is an abrupt change in a situation, and as elderly people, we are not able to face that situation, how to
Right.
calm down or something like that.
Right. Right.
We often say.
Right. I can see there is something in the chat as well. Let me read that out. Geeta auntie has written, we may have been having crisis in family, so have healthy mindset. Right. Wonderful. Okay. Anything else? Perfect. So shall we then start? Nobody said over here that I want to just learn to laugh. Any which way. We'll see how that happens in the end. So I'm going to start my screen share. Right. So the other day, Veena ji, when she called up in a hurry burry, I think late in the evening, right? And then she was asking, we want to do this and what shall we keep? And she was all like, all kind of in a different space. And then she said, what shall we give the name of a topic and this and that. So this very abruptly came to me that something called as Jeete Hai Chal, because like most of you said, we have everything. Everything is existing in our life. Yet we feel somewhere something is kind of amiss, right? So this is actually the title that just very randomly came to me. That at any age, I think this is an applicable slogan, right? Jeete hai chal, because things will happen, things will keep happening. Yeah. So moving ahead. Well, we've covered this. So I'll give you a little bit of a background to World Mental Health Day. So I'm sure all of you are getting very social media conscious and going on the internet and finding out things. So how many of you have really touched upon this thing that what is the background to why Mental Health Day was really introduced? Like 10th of September is again suicide prevention day. Okay? Similarly, by 10th of October has been declared as World Mental Health Day. So did anybody read on this, or can we just kind of go ahead? All right. So I'll just say quickly, World Mental Health Day is celebrated on the 10th of October every year for global mental health education, because there was suddenly a need that was found that there is less of awareness and more advocacy required in the area of mental health, because usually in the years that were there before 1992, the whole ideology of looking at a person who is kind of mentally ill was actually taken as by the families, actually not a family and the society, as a huge stigma. Basically they consider it as that, oh god, there is somebody mentally ill in the house, means there's something drastically wrong in this person's family and person's background and all of that. And that's the reason why it came up that we should actually start propagating that why mental health is important. It was actually in 1992 the first celebration that happened under the initiative of Deputy Secretary General Richard Hunter, who was actually a person who went ahead from being a civil public services person and then went on to be part of the World Federation for Mental Health. Okay. And this is a global mental health organization which takes up various themes every year on the Mental Health Day. And basically, they are an organization having a presence which is in more than 150 countries. Yeah. So, like in 1992, the theme was to just advocate and remove the social stigma. Today, the theme has moved much into, especially like many of you will obviously also add that post-COVID, the theme has moved to making mental health and well-being a global priority. At some point in time, I think diabetes became a priority, heart diseases became a priority. But in today's times, it is so nice to see that people are finally waking up to some realities, and now we are making mental health and well-being a global priority. So I will just briefly ask you all, what is mental health according to you? I like to call it as mind care more than mental health, because when we say mental, it kind of comes out as again mental, you know. So what do you think? Why what is mind care, or why what is mental health and what is mind care? At least from what you have experienced or read or heard or whatever. I need participation.
It is a thought process that goes on.
Right. Thought process. Wonderful.
I think to me, mental health means able
Mhm.
to think, able to
Mhm.
remember, and
Mhm.
able to keep myself busy without feeling idle or not looking forward to anything or thinking what to do now. That's what is
Right.
mental health, in my opinion.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Feeling happy always. Enjoying small pleasures, feeling happy,
Mhm.
doing something, learning something. This is mental health according to me.
Okay.
For
Mental
me,
status of mind.
Okay.
for me,
Mhm.
mental health means we should be free from anxiety, depression, negative thoughts. Always we should have positive thought. We should be happy. We should not have any anger or anxiety in our lives.
Right. Absolutely.
One cannot always be without anxiety. In life, there are ups and downs always, but the resilience to manage all that and remain able-minded is good mental health, according to me.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Mental health is also the part of our activity of what is input out of our information, energy level, and body movement. So
Right.
the response what we give to a particular situation, whether it's media or crossing a road or going to the hospital, so we are aware with awareness what we are. That is good, effective. That is mental health.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So all of you are right actually, and also to the point where we are talking about the resilience building or resilience of each individual. equally adds to the well-being that is there. Yeah. So mental health, according to many definitions, includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Yeah. So it's like all of you, most of you correctly said, it actually affects the way we think, the way we feel, and the way we act in the world around us. Yeah. It also helps to determine how we handle stress, how we are able to relate to other people and make healthy choices, whether it is related to, whether it is related to dealing with people on a day-to-day basis, whether it is dealing with our own self in terms of our temptations, especially. How are we going to be able to make healthy choices? Like I'm sure most of you must be feeling every day, वही boring खाना खाना है, वही salad खाना है, वही खिचड़ी खानी है, तो आज कुछ और खा लेते हैं. But then we need to understand that if we do something offbeat, we have to compensate with our body somewhere else, right? And mostly we forget that. In our age itself, we forget, or even younger generation also forgets. So I'm sure at your age we can forgive, but in your age the repercussions are much more higher, right? So understanding the healthy choices that one makes is very, very critical. So if you're eating oily stuff, compensate it with a lot of raw stuff. So again, that is the healthy aspects that I propagate with people. Right. So why do you think that we really need to discuss about mind care? Yeah. So I'll tell you, over, like Tinaji very correctly said, that over the entire span of our life, we will experience a lot of things. We'll come across a lot of people, will be faced with a lot of situations, and so many issues may come up in such a way that we are looking at it as a huge problem, and we start kind of diving fully, wholeheartedly into resolving it. Yeah. And these will obviously then affect uh, the momentarily or maybe for a long time, the way we are thinking, the way we are keeping our mood for the rest of the day, or the way we are behaving after that, right? We obviously all have experienced where, there is a certain situation that impacts us for a lifetime and we just are not able to let it go. And then our behavior starts coming from there, or we get stuck in certain emotion at that point in time. So later part, we will start seeing in the presentation how we are going to be able to deal with our thoughts and emotions. Yeah. So proceeding further, many factors really contribute to the mental health problems that we have, right? So some of us actually could be affected by the biological factors, right? So there could be some kind of a genetic issues that could be there with us, or there could be some changes in the brain chemistry that really happens. Any which ways, we all know as we age, there are changes, in the gray matter of our brains, right? So there is going to be an effect that is going to start then manifesting in our thoughts, emotions, and behavior. Correctly again said, the life experiences such as abuse or trauma. I again don't want to dive into too much of the trauma and abuse part of it, because I have come across a lot of senior citizens who actually crave for the presence of their children many times and are kept away and are not able to deal with this, and that becomes a very traumatic experience for them, right? So this is definitely one of the factors that affects our mind care and our mental well-being. There could be definitely a family history of certain people do carry family history of mental problems, right? So these are some of the factors that actually affect further. One. Yeah. So as we all know, mental health is a crucial part of our overall health, but yet many of us have faced in so many times that it is a hush hush topic. People don't want to discuss it. Why do you think it's the scenario? Why do you think that happens, sir? I'm sure, like, most of you discuss your knee problem, your so many other health problems, but it's so easy to talk about your physical problems. Yeah. But it is so difficult to really share with somebody that I'm going through something and I don't know what is happening. Why do you think it is? What is the thing that stops us?
People start putting a stigma,
Right. People start
Us.
judging you.
and you feel socially boycotted actually in more cases, in many
Yes.
cases, wherever you talk about mental imbalance or mental health issues
Right.
related to you.
Correct. Also, I think people then started, making you the topic of their discussions for many other meetings that they probably have. And then, of course, we are at, we are fearful that what if our issues get discussed or I am discussed. So we obviously don't want to feel exposed, right? That is the reason why we kind of stop this. And that is exactly the reason why things like Mental Health Act 2017 was also introduced, that every person has a right to express. That is one of the things that are mentioned very clearly on that one. It is sad that we have woken up to this reality in 2017, whereas this should have come ages ago, right? So, like we correctly said, this is largely because of the stigma that is surrounding us, and we don't really want to talk about it. And this is not of today. This is something that has been for ages and generations, I'm sure. Yeah. The stigma obviously also prevents people from seeking the right treatment. So if today, if you are unwell, you immediately pick up yourself and go to the doctor, or pick up the phone and talk to a doctor and explain to them symptomatically what is happening to you, and the doctor obviously goes ahead and gives you some kind of a medication that you trust and you take and you get better, right? But if in the similar situation you were told that okay, go and seek some counseling, we kind of are not very sure if we want to do that. Yeah. And because of it, sometimes many of us really isolate ourselves, and that can actually make our conditions worse. Yeah. Then talking about mental health obviously improves our communities by making it more acceptable for people suffering from mental illness to seek help, makes them understand to really go out there and then talk about their issues, helps them to learn to cope with their problems. And if that really happens well in time, then the recovery of that individual is much faster. Then, those issues of long standing depressions and things like that can be easily avoided. Yeah, right. And somebody already said that it is about also maintaining a very positive state of well-being. Right. Talking about mental health also improves uh, communities to come together, people to come together, help each other, be in that communion to ensure that we are able to spread the entire how do you say it gets like a contagious thing, that people then want to talk more about it. And then there is obviously a more collaborative environment which helps the person to also recover faster. Yeah. So I'll just quickly tell you the key facts. This is again given by WHO. Globally, the population is aging rapidly because the rate of mortality has kind of been taken care of now. Yeah. So we have better medical facilities, and hence we have older people in our generations and societies today. So in between 2015 and 2050, the proportion of the world's population over 60 will nearly be double, from 12 to 22%. Mental health and well-being are as important in older ages. We already covered that mental health is not just something for a youngster, but it is also for any age group, including the older generation. The mental and neurological disorders among older adults account for 6.6% of the total disabilities for this age group. That means whatever disability physical they have, 6.6 is the percent that are actually neurologically affected people. Approximately 15% of adults aged 60 and over suffer from some kind of a mental disorder. So, what does this lead to? Things like isolation, anxiety, dementia, and psychosis. So, somebody did mention that, you need to learn to how to cope up and keep up, whenever the small anxieties of our lives keep coming into it. Yeah. Also, along with this, what I have also experienced people coming and saying is that they sometimes have uh, insomnia, maybe for 2 days, 3 days. They're not able to sleep well, or they sleep too much and they sleep in the wrong hours of the day, right? This obviously is going to, since we are not following the rhythm of nature, this is going to put them off and they are going to have cognitive disorientation. They are going to have deterioration further. And this obviously can then lead to further physical, kind of pains and aches that they really start having and may need certain more intervention. So, anything that you need to talk about till so far that we have covered, because we came across a lot of facts over there. Anybody wants to add anything over here? So now we are entering the space where we are actually going to enter where how you're going to manage your thoughts and how you're going to manage your emotions. Yeah.
I have seen people not accepting that they are mentally ill.
Right.
Whereas people who accept, they get treatment
Right.
in pain. But people who do not accept, it is very difficult to get their
Correct.
treatment.
Correct. So somewhere I feel that, I also do come across people like that, no, I am not, I was always like this, when I was in my 40s and 50s and 60s. Now see what has happened to me. So somewhere we also are in a state of denial. We don't have this steady acceptance in different phases of our life. That's what, I keep kind of propagating to them, that accepting and committing yourself to the new phase of your life is the better way of looking at things. Like you correctly pointed out that, that mental illness is something that people are not able to see very easily. They don't even realize, that they're going through something. And when only it reaches a certain point and people around them actually start saying that, what, I think now you need to see a psychiatrist. Oh, that becomes a big blow, right? So my request is, if any one of you actually feels that, they want to reach out, you should reach out. There are various organizations that are there. I can actually also pass some numbers to Veena ji, where, you can reach out and just simply speak out if there are certain anxieties that are happening in your life. And those are all momentary things probably, but it could be immediately taken care of it, and it doesn't need to be carried, on your shoulders, and that will actually help you relieve a lot of your stress that is there, right? And anything else from whatever we saw so far? Anything that you kind of want to comment, gather, or whatever you gathered so far? So is it that many of us also feel that I have seen so much of life, I have seen so much of people, I've seen so much of experiences, so I know it all and I know it better. Does that also affect you in any way? And does that also stop you from really reaching out? Yeah, it does, right? So basically, reaching out does not always mean that you need to reach out to a mental health professional or go straight to a psychiatrist. It could simply be picking up the phone and talking to a friend, talking to any relative, because what else would you do, right? In your morning hours, in your waking hours, what would you really do? After you've finished your household basic chores and things like that, the best option is to keep talking to people, keep chatting with people. Like some of you said that, keeping yourself busy and keeping your mind occupied, the best way, right? But of course, don't chat with friends who are only adding more stress to your system, okay? Because we will also have such great friends who will, you are already calling them to discuss your problem. They say, oh, today so many things happened in my house also. And there they go and they give the flood of their emotions all over into you. And okay, you definitely are not going to recover from that kind of a conversation very quickly. You probably will be catching a head and then if it क्यों phone किया इस बंदे को, it is like that. Yeah. So
I think
yeah,
meditation is one of the ways we can manage our thoughts.
absolutely, absolutely. So here, this is a beautiful representation of how would you really like to approach your thoughts. Yeah, because there are going to be a lot of things that you keep on going in your mind every time, right? So like you said, doing meditation, right? So here I will just, so I want you to just spend some few seconds with this particular diagram. It's visible, right, Vinaji? Okay. And how many of you really would agree to what side do you take when these things happen to you? I want to know that.
Can I speak?
Yes, yes, please, please. The floor is absolutely open.
See, my view is that trying to keep positive thoughts
Mm-hmm.
is the best way
Mm-hmm.
to manage your mind and mental health.
Wonderful.
Because in every case there is always a negative side of it.
Hmm.
And if you start getting into the negative side, then
Hmm.
you keep on becoming more and more possessive, and then you start thinking that you yourself are one of the negative person affected
Yes.
by that.
Correct.
And it's so immediately what helps is to
Hmm.
negate those negative thoughts
Right.
and come on the positive side of it,
Absolutely.
and that will help a lot to manage the thoughts.
Correct. Correct. So, so basically, what you're trying to simply say is, whatever be the situation, whatever are the thoughts that are coming, try to gain whatever is the positive aspect of those thoughts, and walk along with those thoughts so that you don't get sucked into that particular entire situation, right? That's what I understood of it. So how many of you are on which side? If somebody would like to comment.
Sonali, it is difficult to be on one side. Actually,
Yes.
accept it, at the same time deal with it, and then decide like it will happen on its own. Acceptance is the crux of the point.
Absolutely. But how many of us really reach that point? Denial is our first birthright, and
I think is better. Mindfully accept and allow it.
yes,
As far as my
wonderful, wonderful. But then,
Well, it's not that the negative thoughts will not come; they will come.
correct. Yes,
Because you can't help it. As a human being, you will always have some negative sides also.
absolutely.
Your observations in your own household, in your personal life, in your friends' atmosphere around, you will always come across some negative thought sides of it. But
Correct.
the moment you start accepting that, yes, if I can change it, I'd like to change it. Otherwise, I don't have to allow this to happen to me.
Absolutely.
And I have to feel that I am healthy, I am strong, and I am not one of those affected by that.
Absolutely.
This will help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think, like, Vinaji also said, you have to take a approach of a mix of both of these things, right? So basically, you cannot immediately go and dive into the fact of challenging and changing your thought, right? Because, like you said, some of the thoughts are bound to remain with you. Right? So if that's going to happen, take a step of the other side. Take a pause, observe your thoughts, and see. Just step back and see what's really happening there. Are you going with the whole situation and kind of, जैसे बोलते हैं ना, राई का हम पहाड़ बना रहे हैं, या is it that you are in your mind creating assumptions of the situation, and then you're then getting into that cycle of rumination. Cycle of rumination is, similar to something, if you all have all seen in some experiments, a rat going in the wheel, no? That's how our mind then starts going. The rat is thinking, I'm running kilometers, but your thoughts are actually doing that. But then we also know that we are actually only in that circle, right? So at that point in time, you will take support of the other side. Sit back, Notice your thoughts. Ask yourself, is this really true? Because thoughts are not facts. They are only something that is going on in the brain. It's a brain activity. It is nothing to do with the fact that something is actually happening over there. Right? So this is something that you will probably do as a fact sheet, be on this side or be on this side, or do a combination of this. Right. Then how will you be managing your emotions? So how many of you still get very emotional about things? And what is the emotions that you really face? एंगर कर नहीं सकते क्योंकि बीपी की गोली खा रहे हैं, करेक्ट? और क्या कर सकते हैं? रो नहीं सकते क्योंकि ऐसे भी लगता है कि क्या रोना, किस चीज के ऊपर रोना आप? So what are the emotions that really come, or is it a mix or a bhelpuri of everything? It is an open
Practical
space.
attitude is always very important, Sonali.
Yes,
Practical attitude.
yes,
So
absolutely.
why scared of negative thoughts? Let them come, no problem. We have to deal with it.
Yes.
That is my attitude. Let them come, no problem. I'll deal with it. Practical attitude is very important. Sometimes unnecessarily we are worried. Unnecessarily we get negative thoughts in our brain.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes problems are also not existing. We just think it's a problem. It's all in our head, many times.
So no
So
problem. Let them come and we'll throw away the negative thoughts again. What is this?
Correct. So it is as simple as if a lizard were to fall on your shoulder, what will you do? You will say, okay, hi lizard, how are you? Thoughts are like that, right? You will do, but don't get lost. That's what you'll do.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So that is what you will do with your thoughts as well. That no ways, you're not staying in my head, not in this house, find some other house. Yeah. All right. So how are we going to manage our emotions? So like I said, nobody told me whether they are angry or they are sad. So I'm assuming that you're a mix of both. Okay. So how do you manage your emotions? So very carefully you have to understand what are the things that really trigger. What are the situations that trigger? What are the things that people say? Or some thoughts of some people itself trigger us, right? Or some phone call that comes. You see the name on the phone and you're like, oh my God, it happens, right? You cannot change the way how you're feeling about that person or how you're feeling about that entire situation, but you definitely can change how you want to react to that situation, right? So again, over here what you will do is separate yourself, step back and separate yourself from that situation and see how it is feeling. For 2 minutes just check, are you feeling okay to step back, or is it that no, I need to take this head on, I want to be the soldier over here, or do I want to take a sword and still go ahead and fight? If that is the situation, probably that is something really badly hit you and something that you really need to deal with, right? But if you think that safe to walk away, actually do that. Take slow breaths, put some music on, possibly write down, or if you really have something to communicate to that individual, actually put it in a nice message on a WhatsApp or an email or a simple letter and actually give it to that person so that there is no further conflict. Right? There is no further dishum. There is no noise or firecrackers all over the place. Right? So how many of you still lose it? I really want to know. This is the juicy part.
I think this is the most difficult part, how you can change how you react. Because if you can only control that, then there is no further worry. Then your mind will be absolutely on the positive side only. Because anything that happens, and if you react, that reaction is what is actually going to affect you only, not the other person.
Absolutely.
If you become angry, it's your blood pressure only which is going to go up.
Correct. And you're eating BP ki goli.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'll tell you what happens and in which part of our brain this particular emotion happens. So there is something called as amygdala, a small badam size kind of a thing that is there in our brain. And that is called as a monkey brain as well, because that is the seat of all our emotions. Yeah. That in conjunction with our great hippocampus, where all the memories are stored. These two people love to act together. They are like the hero heroine of any movie. They come together and do an emotional hijack of your brain. Okay. And when that gets hijacked, you don't know when you have gone like a loose cannon. You don't know when you have shot yourself all over the place. So before anything that, something that happens that takes your reputation, your name, your emotion, your everything away, you should step away from it. And always remember one nice thing that actually I heard in one of the drama series, I don't remember, but when you get angry at somebody, yeah, you become a character in that person's story. Yeah. But is it really necessary for us to become a character in somebody else's story? Even if we are depressed, again, we are becoming a character in another person's story. Who should be the protagonist of our life? We. We should be in control and we should be in control of our picture, the 70 that is playing of our life. We should be the main central character over there and we should always remain there, right? But unfortunately, like I said, the hero heroine that is inside our brain, that is hippocampus and amygdala, always make us do something which is otherwise. So they are villains actually. They're not helpful. Yeah. So somehow you will have to learn to get and step into this. It's difficult, but try करते जीते हैं चलो जैसे करके देखते हैं चलो. Yeah. So now we come to the part of करके देखते. So like you all people are together, I'm sure you all are taking plenty opportunities to actually spend time together. Yeah. Then maintain your cognitive health. How will you do that? How many of you really get into meditation, any kind of sermons reading, satsang, art of living, any kind of talks, that keeps your that keeps giving food for your brain to keep chewing on, right? Even if you're listening to some YouTube things or we are reading some small articles from somewhere, that also adds to your cognitive health. And then obviously the thoughts that are going to come out are going to be positive, right? So it is as simple as that, no? If you overeat, what happens to your digestive system? It goes for a toss. Similarly, if you don't put the right amount and the right kind of food into your brain is going to purge somewhere, right? So you have to avoid that particular. Increase your independence. It is okay to let go of certain things and not do something if they are not important in your life. Why? Because that will help you reclaim your independence. Yeah. So sometimes, women get into this habit. Sorry to all the women over here, but we all get into the habit of saying, "ये दाल ऐसी ही बनेगी, लेकिन हींग नहीं है घर में." तो चलो छोड़ दो, आज दाल हींग के बिना बना लो. What is the problem, right? So that is where you will actually take your control of your life. That it's okay to do something in a certain way. Tomorrow I'll go and get it. हो जाएगा. So that will make you dependent on your own self and not on somebody else. Yeah. Oh, this is something that I need to do. So you guys exercise regularly. Some yoga, some walk, something. Very, very necessary part of your life. Try new hobbies. I hope post-retirement you guys have taken up something in the area of writing, something in the areas of artwork, or maybe mentorship, or simply at all, tutoring or coaching people and things like that. I hope, that keeps you busy. Practicing relaxation techniques. There are many videos available today. I can also share with Veena ji, who can share them with you all in the group. A lot of relaxation 5 minute 7 minute videos which helps you with imagery and visualization actually to move from the space of anxiety. Like somebody asked that sometimes there are anxious moments, what do we do then, right? So put on this in your ears and just calm down for that many minutes. Very easy to do that. Keep a routine, very, very essential, because if you go by the routine and the rhythm of the sun, your body and your mind will always be in your control. Yeah. As we say, follow the circadian cycle, it will keep you healthy. Stay alert for any mental health condition. Here, I would say not just for yourself, but for your spouse, for your neighbors, for any of your friends who are part of this group, so that if you recognize something, immediately refer the person to a mental health professional. First, maybe to a counselor, and then maybe let the counselor then take the decisions along with the family. Right? This is something that I really, really want to leave you with. Avoid getting addicted to social media and television. The biggest factors of adding sansani-khez khabar to your life every day. Anxiety nahi hogi to bhi you will खींचोफy it on yourself. If you're not worried also, you will start getting worried. Some avalanche broke somewhere and something fell down there somewhere and you are worried about, things over here. Yeah. So please keep away. And I have no television in the house, and I watch no news. But my neighbor's television is so loud because he is hard of hearing that I get to hear the news. So, Dekho is insan ko, and Dekho, India wants to know. The nation wants to know. The nation doesn't want to know anything, bhaiya. We are all good in our own homes, right? So we really need
Excuse
to.
me,
Yes,
excuse
sorry.
me, madam.
Yes,
Excuse me for
yes,
disturbing you.
no
This
problem.
problem we have faced a lot of problem during Corona times. That news, how many died, how many are not well,
Yes, yes, actually.
that was
And
really mental torture during
totally,
Corona.
totally, especially even in the COVID times, so much of
Yeah,
news was being circulated. But did any of us really, kind of go and read the facts that was being published by WHO? Only then when we started coming out of that entire hijack and shock, then we started reaching out to the right sources
yes,
for reading the right information. Till then, everybody was getting very hyper about every second thing.
yeah,
Are onions nahi aane wale hain market mein to chalo, everybody is going to get kgs and kgs of onions. As if without onion we can't make food for a week, right? And everybody knew that the situation was so created at that time that things are not going to get available. You are going to stop surviving tomorrow. Our entire survival was actually questioned, at that time, right? And yes, television did a beautiful job at that time of adding more stress to our existing stress, because already all of us were confined to our homes. So it was not just the elderly, but I think even the youngsters who were trying to work in the house and working from home and things like that were fed up and face the same mental tortures, like you said. All of us were going through the same thing, whether it was a child, whether it was a baby. I think the babies enjoyed still because it didn't make any difference to them. They were happy that parents are around at home. So, but yeah, most of us really did really go through tough times at then. Okay. So I leave you with one small lovely thing that I found while I was making this presentation. Can any one of you read this, please, if it's absolutely visible?
It is visible.
Yeah, please. If anybody can read it aloud for us.
I
I choose to live in
now.
the only moment where there is life, the present moment. I choose to let go of the chains of the past and to instead let the present determine my future. I choose to seek the gift of now. I choose to live now. I choose to love now. I choose now. Thank you, madam.
Yes. So how many of you believe in this? I
But
choose the now.
Everybody believes this.
Yes, right.
Fantastic. And that is the belief that you should carry with every sunrise and with every sunset.
Yes, madam, actually,
Yes.
living in present is
Yes.
the best medicine for mental health.
Absolutely. No other pill will actually be able to help you. No amount of Nexito 10, 20, 50 grams will help you get over your anxiety, except for the fact that past is past. Future, I don't know, so I can't worry about. So let me see now. Yeah. So, even in the movie Kung Fu Panda, no, where Master Shifu says, yesterday is history, tomorrow is mystery, today is a gift. So let's be in the now.
that may be true, madam. But yes, thinking about past is irrelevant because it's happened. You
Mhm.
cannot reverse it.
True.
But thinking about future to some extent, yes. Though we would like to live for now,
Mhm.
future is also future thinking or planning is a must for everyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not denying
to-
that, planning, especially in terms of, how you're going to take care of your health conditions, your financial planning, yeah, your trips, your outings. Yes, planning is very, very important. But how am I going to live my tomorrow is also something that some people get worried about. There is no use of doing that, right? Tomorrow is tomorrow. We will live it when it comes. Planning,
But,
wonderful aspect. But
madam,
planning to
not,
such a detail, not a great aspect.
not someone.
Yes.
Most of us थिंक अबाउट फ्यूचर, क्या होगा, मेरी बेटी ये है, आगे क्या होगा उसका.
हाँ.
ऑलवेज दे आर थिंकिंग अबाउट फ्यूचर. पास्ट
Correct.
का तो मत पूछिए. सुबह उठते ही आँख जब खुलती है तो पास्ट थाउट्स आर हंटिंग अस.
Correct. So what are the typical things that worry you about the future? What
Madam?
आपको फ्यूचर के बारे में कौन सी चीजें बॉदर करती है?
मैडम बहुत सी चीजें हैं, बट आई डोंट केयर.
Right.
I have become used to it. So I don't worry for future. मैं तो एक ही चीज जानता हूँ कि वो कर्म में लिखा के जो आया है उसको होना है. मैं लिखा के आया हूँ, मेरे बच्चे लिखा जिसके विषय में सोच रहा हूँ, क्यों सोच रहा हूँ.
Correct. Absolutely.
See, we do think of future more of our younger generation. If you leave attachment, as Bhagavad Gita says, then I think that could be one of the solution to be free from future fear. See, we are so concerned about the children, even to get children also, whether they would get admission, whether they would study well, whether they are taken care of. So those things are not very necessary if you could develop certain detachment. I think one may have to develop more of detachment from many of these things through Bhagavad Gita or whatever it is.
Correct.
That might really would help the better mental health.
Absolutely. So, but tell me one thing, if attachment is a creation of nature, right? How do you get rid of them? Because getting rid of attachment is also another anxiety. So, for example, our children, the babies that are born with the umbilical cord attached to the mother, right? So attachment is part of nature, right? But then, yeah, with the human intervention, that umbilical cord is cut and then the baby is handed over, and then baby cries and everything happens in this world. But with that cut that the doctor does, do we really leave our attachments over there? Now you're talking about children ka attachment. So see how long the umbilical cord is really going, right?
So in that way, worship of something or God, religious, whatever it is, even chanting of slokas and all that. See, whenever there is a problem, what I do today is just going to chant some slokams and leave the responsibility with the God or somebody whom I do trust. That trust also one has to develop. No, it doesn't come. It doesn't come. That is one way of escaping from the regular worries.
Correct. So escaping again brings you back to that particular worry. So, like I think Veena ji suggested, accepting that there are some things that you have no control over is the better key to look at it, right? Acceptance कर लो कि बहुत सारी चीजों के ऊपर मेरा कंट्रोल नहीं है क्योंकि मैंने इस चीज को पैदा नहीं किया है, राइट? तो इस प्रॉब्लम को मैंने नहीं पैदा किया, ये इश्यू जो खड़ा किया है मेरे बच्चों ने किया या जिसने भी खड़ा किया हो, राइट? तो अगर आप निर्माण करता नहीं है तो आप प्रॉब्लम को रेजोल्यूशन देने वाले कैसे हो सकते हो, राइट? So that is the best way, that I cannot accept. I can accept the consequences. I can stand by people, when there are situations that are happening. I can stand by my children. I can stand by my children's children. But if I did not create the situation, how can I be pulled into that entire war? It's not my war. I have finished my entire lifespan from being 0 to whatever age I am today. Yeah. So my job in this world is literally done. I need to live for myself. Yeah. So being in love with myself is more important than anything else. I need to look after myself. I need to take care of my well-being, my physical well-being and my mental well-being. If I look after myself, then automatically when children approach me, I'll be able to give them better advice. I will be in a better position to explain things to them, right? Because they are obviously coming to me because they feel that I have some experience, right? So yes, dealing.
But our experience.
I'm sorry, you got cut off.
She got muted.
Oh.
No, see, today we do have some experience. We have undergone the life.
Right.
So we have learned where to be cautious and all that.
Correct.
like to give that as a piece of advice to children, to our family members. Though the sons are all matured and all that, but in spite of that, I do feel that they are not learning the things from my experience. See,
Correct.
that nobody listens nowadays. I think no, each one wants to be.
If you were Google, probably they would have listened to you.
Everyone again by themselves.
That's what I said. If you were Google, they would have listened to you. So again, here simply the thing is that, you know, if only you understand this much, that my experience taught me this, I can advise only to this much, and I can leave the control after that, right?
Yes.
Because beyond that, I have no scope of how the person will think in modern times. So I will leave it at that. Let them take it forward from them. I did my bit, my contribution is done. And be very peaceful with it. That I did not do less, or I could not have done more. As simple as that.
Sonali, how about the concept of attachment with a detachment? Like same thing what you said just now. To this extent, I will go. I should not get too involved. At the same time, it's not a don't care attitude.
Correct.
Do your best and leave to the rest, to them.
Absolutely. So this is again some concept that I tell people.
Parallel lines. Life is like parallel lines.
Yes.
Attachment, detachment, happiness, unhappiness.
Absolutely.
Sadness and joy. Everything. Life is like parallel lines. You have to. And sort of cool attitude, bindas attitude is very important, madam.
Yes.
Cool attitude.
Yes.
Ignoring certain matters is very important. अरे जाने दो कुछ नहीं होता है. That is very important.
जाने तो कुछ नहीं होता और मैं कुछ भी नहीं कर सकती हूँ. अगर कुछ हुआ तो हुआ, नहीं तो नहीं.
नहीं तो हाँ जाने दो जो भी होना है होने दो.
Exactly. Correct. No. So that goes with. I mean, see, when you tell your smallest baby in the house, don't put your finger in that plug. Okay, it will hurt you. We know what is going to happen, but does the child know? No, they are operating from not knowing. Right? They will still go and push the finger over there and get a shock, and then they will say, "Okay, I do not need to do this ever in my life." It is as simple as that. Even adults practice exactly like this, even in today's time.
Madam, one thing I want to speak about the past. We should not forget our past, because sometimes the sweet memories we still relish today, and the lessons, so many lessons we learn from our past, we shaped our future. Just like whenever I sitting alone and I think when I got my first salary, when I got married, when I got to honeymoon, like that. So still we feel relished. We relish these memories. So we should not forget our past at all. I mean, only bad moments, unhappy moments, we should try to forget it. But sweet memory, we should always keep in our mind.
Exactly. Exactly. So that is where you so beautifully put it, that reverence of self and your own experiences. So critical. Reverence is the key to a lot of things. Reverence will also help you see that, okay, you have reached a certain point and accept. Now you did what you did, and I will revere whatever is coming ahead of me now. So beautifully put. Thank you so much. I'm seeing that Alka Chadaji has put her hand up for the longest time. I'm so sorry, but there was a beautiful conversation going in a flow over here, so I couldn't, interrupt that. Please tell me.
Yeah, thank you, Sonali. Thank you for the wonderful presentation that we had today. I was really enjoying it. And I'm Dr. Alka Chadda. I've been practicing in the city of New Bombay for the last 40 years now. I just wanted to add something for everyone over here. And today being Mental Health Day, the topic was very avidly chosen. Now, whatever has been told today about amygdala, about the neocortex, about the hippocampus, it's very, very beautiful. So the amygdala is the primitive brain, which makes us, very, very weak from inside. It was created in our body long back when we were our ancestors were going for hunting. We were hunters and we were gatherers. So it was meant for detecting danger in the environment. And today, it has become smaller in size, but it has become our self-doubt. It self-sabotages us. So it makes us fearful of the situation. So it is completely in our brain, that part of the brain, which is amygdala, which is small, it's like a pea-sized part. And this is what fights with us all the time. You are no good. You can't do this. You can't do that. This may happen. That may happen. So what I wanted to say to everyone is all the suggestions given by Sonali are beautiful. All the suggestions given by my beautiful friends over here are very, very right. Now, the thing what we have to do is to make it into a habit. Whether we are reading Gita, that is also all right. Whether we are doing detachment, that is also all right. So point I'm trying to come to is there is a thing called neuroplasticity. That means even our adult brain, no, it can change. The structure of our brain can change. So if we can think about gratitude as we do all the time, if we can write about gratitude like we do all the time, then we can think of positive thoughts. When we do meditation, whatever we are doing, whether we are reading Gita, whatever we are doing ना, it forms a trench within us. आप वो देखते हैं ना, पहाड़ होता है ना, पहाड़ के ऊपर जब पानी आता है, तो जब पानी बहुत देर तक एक ही डायरेक्शन में आता है, तो वो एक रास्ता बनाता है. वैसा एक रास्ता ना हमारी ब्रेन में बनता जाता है. So that habit if we can create of positivity, of positive thoughts, of let go, छड्डो, छोड़ो. Sonali very beautifully she said that. प्याज नहीं है तो कोई बात नहीं, बिना प्याज के बना लो, क्या फर्क पड़ता है. Beautifully she said it. Very nice, Sonali. And Sonali, I really admire you for giving your practical, examples which you have given today. So thank you so much. I just wanted to add to this that we can change the structure of our brain by changing our thoughts, the way we think, the way we talk, the way we do things, the way we behave. So friends, that is our take for today, that we can change what we want to do, and we can respond to the situation other than react to a situation. Let's make it into a good habit. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank you
to
so
Dr.
much,
Alka
Alka.
also.
Yes.
Thanks to Dr. Alka and Sonali. both
Yes,
of you.
she actually put out
Thank you very
something
much.
so good. So I
Yes.
want you to do something over here. I want you all to sit back, take a deep breath, and this is something that I'm going to leave you guys with. That I'm going to say it while you guys practice it with closed eyes, keeping your right hand on the center over here, or on your heart, however you want to keep it. But please do that. I am enough for me. I am enough for me. I salute my hardships and my life. I salute my hardships and my life. I bow down to my being and my soul. I bow down to my being and my soul. I love myself. And with a big, big smile, tell that to yourself again. I love myself. I love myself. Yeah. So this is some quote that I thought was very relevant from Rudolf Steiner's philosophy. That is something that I practice, and there is something called as a biography that I do for people who are above 28 years of age, where so many reflections of their life really come out at different phases of their life. So this was a quote that I came across, especially for you people when you all come together. When human beings meet together, seeking the spirit with unity of purpose, then they will also find their way to each other. I'm purposely saying this to you because you all have each other to reach out to in any way if you people are facing any issues. Yeah. So before you go to any doctor, Alka ji is here. Reach out to her. I'm here. Reach out to me. And here are my numbers. And with that, we come to the end of our session. I think I did it in time, Veena. Oh yes, a little over time.
Not at all. It was very gripping. Don't worry.
Thank you so much for
Thank
this
you,
opportunity.
thank you,
I thoroughly
Sonali.
enjoyed. I
Thank you
thoroughly
very
enjoyed
much.
myself. Yeah.
You can stop sharing.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Our group, MRL group now, they are so beautifully interlinked with each other. This platform gives us an opportunity to link with each other. And I want to tell you guys one thing, that social interaction is one of the causes of longevity. They have studied that if you can smile, if you can be happy, and if you can interchange